After my wife cheated and left me, she said it was for pleasure, so I broke up. She begged again, so I did this. We've married 12 years, we probably married young, her youth aside, we both thought it was right. After 12 months, we split. Despite my doubts, we believed we were destined to be together. I enjoy my job. I manage a jewelry store with my brother. We constructed it from scratch and it makes a lot of money, which is great. Some say working with family is hard, but we found it beneficial. Your relationship may differ from mine because my brother and I never quarrel. My wife disagrees. She opened a charming cafe with coffee, pastries, and literature. She has always enjoyed literature and is happy that they read. I hated them before meeting her. I'm lying regardless. Please bite me. I like the idea because I wanted to help her. As a courtesy, I paid her cafe venue rent. I was relieved to not have to pay rent because the firm was profitable. Rent is costly because it's in a decent neighborhood. That should answer everything. The story begins here. She probably told me about the new man who joined the shop in March. He looked great, she replied. I felt safe around them and realized it's good to compliment someone. She kept talking about this person, which was odd. He resembled a strong masculine hero from women's writings. She likes such books too. I find it odd that ladies only discuss literature. I'm confused, that's the cheesiest method to discover love. After discussing this man, it ended. However, she talked about him much like the icy Russian hitman who fell in love with a woman in their apartment building's laundry room. That wasn't fabricated. She enjoys that book. Finished for the day. He came in the next day and they had a long talk, she said. He sold vehicles and was Serbian. He went to America for a better life. Standing and finding his way took time. He sought jobs at surrounding auto shops due to his talent. I quickly noticed that he was tall, blonde, handsome, well-dressed, and accented. He liked westerns and fantasy books like The Lord of the Rings. She talks a lot about her customers, so this wasn't surprising. However, she used flowery verbiage again. She appeared to be mocking him. In time, he ceased being new to her, thus she stopped talking about him. He was clearly a regular in her cafe, even though he didn't seem worth long spills every night. That improved my mood. I took him to her cafe one afternoon to deliver her lunch and saw him in the corner. He looked like him. I knew it was him. And he looked good. His name was Ivan, she said. This is when chaos begins. She returned home with a funny smile one night. Asking her what was wrong, they discussed novels on the way back, she said. Ivan walked her home. When he asked, she said she was married and couldn't date. They apologized, held my hand, said goodbye, and went. When I questioned what was making her smile so big, she answered, "It's like something out of a book." I didn't like it since she made every interaction with Ivan sound romantic. He frequented her coffee shop, so I didn't know. They would have to talk daily. If I did that, I'd appear weak, and she might have told him she had no boyfriend. One more time. I had something to say, but I didn't need to talk. I had to overcome my emotions, right? After a week, my wife brought home flowers and put them in a bowl. I realized it wasn't true then. She stated Ivan handed her a gift. Little interest. He informed a coworker he bought lots of fur. He now works. Today was her birthday. He wanted to get me some because he saw how hard I work. She stated that to sound like a child who didn't know when someone liked her, which wounded my brain. I immediately asked her whether she knew Ivan liked her. Despite his straightforward request for a date, she thought the flowers were pleasant. Guys don't get flowers for rejected girls, so I didn't, since it was proper, even if she was married. He may have been trying to acquire her underpants without doing anything sweet. He easily became close to her then. He wouldn't stop shortly. My wife came home 2 days late, confirming my prediction. She hadn't notified me she'd be late after almost 2 hours. She ignored the 2 calls to give it time. Her lateness to home was not new. After calling 3 times, she was home, confirming that the bubble had shifted. You won't believe my insane night. She mentioned showing Ivan the museum and suggesting they order American pizza, as he had only seen it in movies. I didn't care what happened thereafter. They walked, talked, ate pizza, and more. But I let her finish. After she finished, I inquired, "Are you interested in Ivan?" She looked shocked and indignant and stated she only wanted me. No close family or friends in the new nation could tour him around and answer his inquiries. It was all she could do to welcome him. All of this is unclear to me. I informed her that she could no longer see Ivan. There was a major fight over that. She muttered dumb things about how dreadful feeling threatened was, how unjust everything was, and how people should stop feeling that way. I was furious but controlled it. But I persisted. I advised her to stop seeing Ivan after school. He may visit her coffee shop as a customer. It wasn't supposed to get worse after that. She was advised to consider her response if a Serbian girl bought a ring. I then showed her town. I guess we all know, she said. I get it, but we know better. To summarize, I slept on the couch. Not surprising. But I'm pleased I stopped hearing about Ivan's issues. That soothed me. I knew she would talk to him in her shop later, but nothing would happen. I wasn't worried because she always went home at the same time. My wife was absent from her cafe one afternoon. I suspected something was wrong. It didn't matter that Ivan wasn't there. I didn't think he would have been. She wasn't there, which was essential because that rarely happens. I considered waiting for her or asking one of her staff where she went. But I didn't make a disturbance. She and Ivan were strolling up the street with their arms around each other as I crossed the street to get back in my car. I waited in the car, watched them enter the coffee shop, then drove away. I wanted to cross the street, punch him, and curse her. I had trouble understanding yesterday, but I think knowing something others don't is empowering. I wanted to discuss it with her when she got home. It will help me recognize other lies. We talked about her day when she got home, and she stated it was normal and she hadn't been any place. My reason for being here is Ivan's whereabouts. Should I tell her now or investigate? I'm leaning toward the second option because my nose may be off. I fear losing all hope of discovering the truth if I talk to her. Tell me your thoughts. You all okay? I wrote the cafe wife and Serbian man post. I'm back with major news. I found lots. Let's chat. I had to work for self-esteem. However, I vowed to constantly seek the truth. Despite my guilt, I had to check my partner's phone. Going through their phone has never appealed to me. I did it quickly while she slept. She had Ivan in her texting app because they had been talking a lot. WhatsApp made saving the discussion as a text file straightforward. She texted my phone. I removed the proof without a doubt. Her gallery only had a few public photos of them being joyful, which didn't blame them. I also sent them to my phone. Again, proof was erased. I returned her phone in 5 minutes. I read everything on my phone thereafter. That reduced the likelihood of someone waking up to check on you. I observed many odd things that confused me. In case you hate this part of the discussion, I wrote it down. They discussed a book my wife suggested. Call my wife Clarice instead of her true name. The primary characters reminded me of you and me, Clarice. I concurred. A mysterious, hot guy and an arty girl who couldn't choose between him and her lover. A message followed. Many spicy sex scenes. I feel near to us when I read that. I agree that sex is fun, but you have a husband. An emoji for a foolish laugh follows. Clarice sent laugh faces. I agree, and that makes it more fun and fascinating. It feels wrong. Although I've never done it, I don't feel awful about it. Hot, because it's wrong. I agree, and I want this to continue. It drove me insane. Very early dawn. I left the house to walk because I couldn't follow her. My actions would have been ridiculous. I was confident. It was barely 3 a.m. After being lost in town for 5 hours, I returned home. She slept too. Have you ever discovered that your wife was cheating and laughing at you? She was what drove me. Mad. Cheating wasn't acceptable anyway. I returned to see her asleep. I captured that section of her talk with Ivan on her phone. I wanted to emphasize that no one was a doctor. Clarice felt like she was living a ridiculous book. It was disgusting that I was hurt. She has no idea I know. Their relationship is deteriorating. This couldn't happen otherwise. I want her to fall. I want Ivan to collapse. I'm unsure how to hurt them both severely. Change 2. The finished product was lovely. Ivan is Serbian and Clarice is his cheating bookworm wife. Their tale ends here. They shouldn't have been so terrified of me throughout. I won't read the dull bits. When Clarice went to work, I parked my Uber, hurrying across the street. Someone handed her the divorce papers at the cafe in front of everyone. That was amazing, and we drove away. Clarice didn't leave a message or call all day. Everything went nicely at work today. That she was cheated on wouldn't change, she knew. I viewed it that way. She returned home dejected that night. Nothing's coming from her nose. Indeed, she appeared messy. I felt she looked that way because she still had love in her. But it ended quickly. She kept wondering what went wrong. Was it Ivan? I knew lots she didn't. Before she knew what I know, she probably checked her plan for flaws. I wasn't sure if I should tell her about Ivan, but I did. I told her I saw her that day and was strolling with her hand in mine, but I didn't say more. She became confident and begged and insulted me at the same time. That wasn't a reason to break up, she said. Wrong to keep seeing him. No, they weren't dating, and I was suspicious. I disliked your appearance. She wasn't sure how to treat me. She left following my command. The split starts there. I enjoyed that portion. I have more money than her, therefore if we break up, I lose more. I had more money, so I hired good lawyers. Hire a good divorce lawyer. I promise it's worthwhile. After I expressed concern, they showed me many photos of them together. I have texts proving their infidelity. My wonderful lawyer showed me transactions in her joint account that appeared to pay for Ivan. The dates of certain transactions matched his text messages, thanking her. She clearly preferred her Serbian husband to us. I also liked how the lawyer made her seem money-hungry. Enjoyable to watch. Despite her efforts, I didn't observe anything significant. My flaws aren't so awful that a woman would leave me. My life improved after the split. I kept my home and car. When I cheated on her and gave her a way to make money, she didn't ask for alimony. Judge, I adore you. You can keep the automobile I bought her. It didn't annoy me enough to worry about. It was easy to grab what I wanted because she had nothing following the separation. Now this is my fave. I had trouble reaching Ivan. It was tough. He left the coffee shop one day. He took me around the corner and down the street. I introduced myself and smacked him in the jaw to attract his attention. He was astonished when I broke his lip severely. Very painful. I wouldn't fight on the street, but I would if necessary. He departed, so I guess he recognized he couldn't be moral. It was nice. I wish I had done more since he knew he was seeing a married woman. However, that was enough for me, and probably the most I could have done without getting in trouble. Then Clarice. I paid her rent, remember? It was due again, and her cafe's great location made it expensive. At the end of May, she contacted me crying because she couldn't afford cafe rent. It was due May 1st. I told her to sell the automobile to earn money, following her pleading. I then put the phone down. She called several times that week, but I never answered. A secret. She called to swear at me and told me she sold the automobile. She lamented that I could not help her. Her thinking cheating on me would be fun and thrilling was wrong. That was all she said. In May next year, see how hard she finds it to pay rent. Because she can't reach my secretary, the gods will take the shop. It's nice. I'm single, rich, and happy. It was dreadful to be discarded, lied to, and cheated on, but you must move on, right? I'll do it. Thanks for staying and saying kind things and offering ideas. Many thanks. I hope this is my last post. Thank you.